What's going on, y'all? So today we're going to be painting, or I'm going to be showing y'all how to paint emerald colored water and nice blue skies, and how to make it look like the beaches we've got down here in Florida. And the way to do that is going to be a lot of blue and a lot of yellow. And you mix it together. But you always start with your sky first, you work your way down to the ocean, and we'll even hit some sand dunes here on the sides. We're not going to do too much water. It's going to be like right about here, somewhere in the middle. Imagine like a walkway of sorts. That's what we're going to have. So right now I'm about to go start sharing this all over Facebook for the next couple minutes, and then we're going to work on painting. Hey Mom, please help and share the video so that I can get painting quicker. Share public, there we go. Oops, got it in a little bit of the water. Here we go, Emerald Coast, share to a group. Copy, paste, and send. Then one more. Hey Ann, thanks for joining. I see that you're in. Cool, I think that's enough for now. All right, now to begin. So I will be working off of a reference photo here. Whoops, come back here. That's all right. I saw the photo. I know what it looks like. So the first line of business is we're going to get a nice little sky right here, starting about almost 1/3. The top third of the sky is going to be blue and green. It's a nice emerald color, very similar to what you're going to see in the water. And the key to doing that is just first off ripping open your yellow paint because it's not cooperating with you. Going into phthalo blue and yellow, which is going to make a nice green. And then you get a white in the mix. Now for your sky color, you're going to want a little bit more of the phthalo blue. Just a little bit. It's going to be mostly a bluish color. So you can take some of the green and maybe a little bit of the yellow. Kind of come over the top of it. Get some more white because it's a nice and blue sky. And you just put it on there, see if you like the color. If it's not the color that you like, you can always go back over it. In which case, mine, it's gonna need a little smidge of little work. Here we go. This is closer to what I wanted. With more blue. Just a tiny bit of yellow. And just keep adding white until you get that consistency and the value that you want, because the values are what's more important. Now, I could be doing this with wet on wet technique to speed things up, but today we're just going to be showing you the raw wet on dry technique, which is just painting on a dry canvas, nice and gritty. Gives you a lot more character when you're painting it in. There we go. So whenever you're closer to the top of your canvas, you're going to get darker, but we're going to work a little bit lighter and start getting it on the bottom a little bit. And we're just going to keep working into that same color that we have here. You got that nice dark colors towards the top. And what you can do later is you can always come back over it with that white and start making clouds on it. But you want to start with the background first, the farthest away first. And right now, we're trying to get the top of it and get those nice dark colors that I was telling you about earlier. A nice deep sky. You kind of work the corners as darker colors and then gradually work into your lighter ones the closer to the middle you get. Because when you pay attention to photos and in real life, most of the time you'll see your colors are going to be real dark when you look straight up. That means it's a deeper sky. I'm going to be working relatively quickly. So if y'all have any questions while I'm painting, just go ahead and start throwing them in the comment section. I can see it from my computer that's right behind. And I'm not going to be looking too much to the camera just for speed's sake. I'm going to try to make this like, I don't know, 30-minute to an hour painting, if that. Just to really show y'all the simplicity of a beach scene. Now I'm going to work into those lighter colors now. See how I've got my darker colors and then gradually getting whiter or lighter, and you can just take from those darker colors and just add white. If you ever run out of paint, that's how you do it. Just tap it in, tap and pull, tap and pull. Really simple techniques. And if you wanted to, you can do cross strokes as well. Either way works. Whatever makes you most comfortable painting. A lot of times I paint, I'll just use those same cross strokes and even use a bigger brush. But right now, I'm trying to keep it look a little bit more painterly. So I'm not going to be using the big brush. I'm just going to be using these smaller ones. Darker. And one thing that you can do is you can work into the light and then start blending it in to that darker color and start pulling and extending the paint. And it's okay if you leave a little bit of white, a little bit of the canvas showing. If it looks good, leave it. If it doesn't, you can just paint it over it until you don't see it anymore. Gonna see if I can find that reference photo I had earlier. There we go. She was being a little bit difficult with me. So I'm just gonna keep taking that white and that phthalo blue together and mixing it a little bit, and even adding a little tiny bits of yellow here and there. Just to change up the taste, the flavor in the sky. And then keep adding white to it if it's a little bit too dark, because this looks just a smidge too dark. And then the key to these skies, the closer you get to the horizon line, the more white you're going to add, because of the precipitation. It's going to provide a little bit more distance. White and blue, that's the key. White and blue adds distance. So in different places you can add little dark spots and then have your lighter spots here as well to kind of change up the depth. Just give the illusion of maybe there are some clouds in the back. There we go. And then you can just pull it, pull it, pull it to kind of blend it all together if you want to. Look at that, isn't that nice? And you can use these same colors that you're using to paint the sky to paint the water as well. Especially whenever you're real close to water. These whites and phthalo blue, and then mix it in with a tiny bit of yellow, but it's mostly white and blue. You mix all those together and it looks phenomenal. There's a hair. Let's get rid of that. And thank y'all for sharing. Those of y'all that share, I can see that on my computer. I really appreciate y'all sharing. Every little bit helps. I know Ann and my mom have been popping in and out on a lot of my streams and just sharing and helping out here and there. And it really does make a difference. Yesterday we had some people watching all the way from Texas. And that brought me in a customer. And that's because of y'all helping. Also, if y'all find somebody that wants a painting from me and wants to hire me and ends up buying a painting off of me, if you send them or if you refer them to me and let me know about it, I will give y'all a tip, like a cash tip, either in person or in your Cash App or whatever we decide to arrange in your account on y'all's behalf, since y'all helped me out. Just a little bit of something for y'all just to help y'all out whenever y'all are out doing whatever it is you're doing. If y'all help me out, I help y'all out. I know the virus has kind of blocked a lot of us from working, but this will be a way for us to kind of help each other out. There we go. We've almost got a complete sky right here. All right, next line of business. Just make sure you got all this here blended together. Easiest way to do that, take a 2-inch brush and then just kind of start pulling it. You can blend it to any degree of softness you like. You can even stir it up a little bit, do little tiny circles. Make it real nice and soft. And if you ever get your hairs, like your brush bristles, falling in there, you can just scrape it right off from the side. And just go back into your odorless paint thinner. Wipe off the brush. Beat it on the beater rack. And then just wipe it off on a napkin or paper towel, whatever you have at your disposal. Me personally, I just have paper towels right now. Easy way to tell when it's dry, you wipe it off on a little piece of cardboard or maybe even a piece of paper, and it won't show a bunch of wet spots. All right, next line of business, we're gonna go into our darks. Nice little batch of straight up phthalo blue. You're gonna take it from the corner. See this horizon line? You're just gonna paint it solid phthalo blue right here. I'd say really load it up if it's not getting all the paint on there that you want. There we go. You want it real dark right over here and then gradually trail it off. And also get those bristles out of there. Just noticed a little stray rogue bristle. You're not welcome in my painting. Get out. There we go. Start gradually letting that thing, notice how all this is just starting to trail off. Just gradually let it trail off. You want it to be real profound right here and then trail off gradually. Then next line of business, go back into that same color you got up here and even more yellow. You can even go into green if you want. And then you're going to kind of mix it in with that phthalo blue and kind of pull that phthalo blue down, even. Extend it, if you will. Mix in that phthalo blue and yellow. And then what it does is it creates the illusion of like sand. Best way to describe it is sand. Little sand patches, sand in the ocean that you can see. Then at any point when you're painting and you want to make a real dark spot, make it look like it's real deep, you just put some of that phthalo blue color that you already have on your brush just in one patch right here. Or if you want to extend it, you can do that. Even in multiple spots. We'll say we want it to show up for a long distance right over here. You just go back into that same green color and then mix it in. Start blending it together. Then start painting that green around it. And start pulling it. Pull it, pull it, pull it. And then the more you blend it, the more kind of, or the less deep it looks. But that's the technique. It's super simple. I kind of figured it out by chance while I was experimenting one day on one of my first beach paintings. Let's get some of that dry paint off here. Then the closer you get, the more white you're gonna add. You can even add a little smidge of yellow. Mix it in with that blue and then keep adding white to it because it's gonna be an emerald color. And then to kind of divvy it up, you just keep adding patches of blue and patches of the yellow and green. And it just really changes it up and gives it a nice feel to it. So right here, I'm going to put another dark spot. We're going to have it just like all extended. I'm going to extend it all the way over here even. Make it kind of like there's a couple different levels of this sandbar. And then when you pull it this way, and then add it a little here, you can almost make out the shape of, hey, there are little sandbars and little waves where how the waves just kind of crash and roll in. It really sculpts the sand under the water. I don't know if y'all notice that whenever y'all go swimming, but whenever you go swimming in the ocean, the sand is always going to be in kind of a little rolling waves. It's real nice. It's nice to see you, Robert. Thanks for popping in the stream. Hope to be seeing you in the next few days over at the club. Just painting a nice little beach scene. Here we go. So what I'm trying to do right now is really accomplish a kind of, right here, I think I'm gonna start having a sand dune start appearing right here, rolling up. Oh, I've got crimson on my fingers. Nice. Gonna have the sand dunes start rolling up like it's a little bit farther away, and start coming down and around, and even over here. Over here, I'm gonna have it like there's little posts over here, even a gate or a walkway somewhere over here. We'll see. So notice how the closer I get, the more white I'm adding. Reason behind that, because it's going to be a little bit more shallow the closer you get. But it's still going to have that seafoam green look. There we go. Hey Amir, it's good to see you, man. We should play some tennis sometime. Right now I'm just painting a nice little beach scene, trying to add in all the fine details. Well, we're blocking in most of the basic colors right now, but I will be adding a little bit more of the details here shortly. Right now it's just basic colors of all the water that you're going to see. And I find these colors to be the most relaxing even. They're kind of muted right now. And eventually I'm going to hit it with some solid white with a palette knife. And I'm going to really roll in the waves just gradually. They're going to be nice and small the farther out you get, and then have a couple tiny crashers. They're not going to be more than like a couple feet tall in appearance. I like the smaller waves. And the easiest way to paint these waves, or paint these little divots as well, just add smidges of like solid phthalo blue, like I told y'all earlier. Super easy technique. Just pull it, and then you wipe off your brush, and then go back into that white color and the green, and you just blend it out, blend it out, blend it out. And if it's not working, you really grind it in there, and then you just kind of blend it back. Just like that. There we go. That's a little bit more like what we're looking for. And it's a really super simple palette as well. All I'm using is phthalo blue, white, crimson, which I haven't even gotten into the crimson yet. Most of these, you don't even need crimson except for the sand. And that's how you, oh, hello. I need to clean you off later. But the crimson's just gonna be barely noticeable because you're creating more blue than crimson. You're gonna be creating like a purple type sand, but it's mostly white, so you can barely see it. It's a very limited palette. You limit the amount of colors you have, and it looks better that way. I'm kind of getting it down to a science. If anybody wants to learn this at any point, you can. It's so easy. I highly encourage you, if you're trying to paint, to use the same palette. Phthalo blue, medium yellow, titanium white, and crimson. But there's honestly a lot of white. I'd take gander and say it's more white than anything because everything's real milky in the foreground. There we go. I think that's plenty right now. You know what? I take back what I said earlier. I'm going to make a nice walkway starting all the way over here, all the way to the edge right here. And before that, I'm going to start painting a little bit of this nice color right here. Just start blending it down. If you don't want to tear up your brushes, don't do what I'm doing, because it's going to really grind into the paint, or grind into the canvas and your brushes. So now that you've got all your water just blocked in, Sheila Lauer, thank you. Appreciate it. Now that you got your water all blocked in, all you have to do is go into a different brush. And I've lost one of my brushes. Wonderful. Here we go. Found it. You go into white. Actually, you go into a lot of white. So we're going to keep a little section right here off for the white. You go into a tiny bit of crimson because you're going to make a purple color right here. Go into some phthalo blue and keep going into crimson until you get almost a blackish color. Oh, too much crimson. And then once it's the consistency and color, you want it kind of a little bit towards the warmer side. See how it's nice and dark right here on the palette? All you have to do now is go into white, start pulling down. Now that you see that it's kind of towards the warmer color that you wanted, just keep applying white and pull it down until you get that consistency that you want. And what I like to do is really wipe off my brush. And typically I would actually have another brush for this, but I don't have more than 5 brushes at this time. I only got 3, so I'm gonna work with this. And then you just go into white, keep going into white. And actually, you know, I'm gonna go into a little bit of yellow so we can mix this and make a little bit of brown. There we go. That's nice. Kind of a nice, whoa, nice brown. There we go. That's about what you want. You want it mostly white. That way when you put it down, it's almost the same color as the canvas. You can barely tell the difference. And then you just spread that. But one thing I need to warn you about, whenever you're at the beaches here in Florida, you don't have brown sand. It's mostly solid white. And in the shadows, it looks blue. So you gotta pay close attention to that. So even at times, you're gonna want it to be nice and blue when you're painting sand. Mostly white. Then you can even blend them together whenever you're painting at the water's edge. One cool thing about the water, whenever you see the reflection of the sand or reflection of the light on the sand, you can just take purple and drag it down and then pull it sideways right at the water's edge, because purple, when the sun hits it, or when the sun hits the water and the sand, it looks like purple sand. So I don't know if y'all can notice, but I've started to run out a little bit of my nice color, my nice white color. So right now, I'm gonna go and get my white. You gotta reload whenever you run out. Just take a nice string of it. Since titanium white actually takes a very long time to dry, as a matter of fact, of all the colors, it takes the longest for me, or in my opinion, it takes the longest to dry of all the colors. So you can just put a nice strand of there. So you can just keep picking at it constantly. Oops, wrong brush. Where'd it go? Here you are. There we go. And the way to make your beaches look semi-realistic, you have your darkest colors in the foreground and then gradually fade it blue towards the background. So a little bit warmer towards the foreground. So notice how I've got a little twinge of purple on the sand. You can even go into the browns and mix that up. Even white and yellow is okay. Let's try that right here. You can mix it up a little bit with the colors. It doesn't look bad. But right now, just pull it, and mix it together. So you want to keep the yellows away from the blue right here so that you can prevent it from looking too green. You want to keep the yellows a little bit closer back here. I think I'm gonna actually start adding a little bit of a hill right here. Here we go. So I have a reference photo right on my computer just for colors and coordination, keeping the nice color schemes together, but I don't always work off of that. So what I'm gonna do is start carving out shape of a sand dune right here, kind of at the foreground. And just kind of make a couple of them actually. And what you do is wherever you see shadows, you can always go and add blue to them later. But right now what I'm doing is I'm getting all these whites on here first so that I can come back with all these nice colors, and I'm leaving all these empty spaces on the canvas as well. That way I can come back and hit them with a little bit darker colors. Ooh, sounds like a neighbor's here. So now I'm going to take a little bit of that brown and mix it in here with the white and blue. Just pull, 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 so it looks like there's no definite line, no definite meeting place between the water and the sand. So next line of business, go into a little bit of the purple. Start adding it to the foreground, because you're going to have more reds toward the foreground. And then the further away you get, notice how you got more blues. Hey Mom, welcome back. Okay, it's shaping up nice. Okay. Yeah. That looks 20 times better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding all the darks color, all the nice dark colors. I'm going to even add a couple walkways actually. I'm going to add one right down here, and then one that goes all the way out here and kind of trails off into the distance. And you'll be able to see little tiny posts. But I'm not going to put a whole lot of detail on them either. The key is just putting little indications that they're there, but not making it super detailed, because people like that. And it's also a lot easier to paint. Shh, I didn't say that. It may look a lot more detailed when you scoop back from the painting as well. Here we go. So we're gonna have, I'm gonna actually make a nice little walkway just to sketch out the walkway right over here. Like it's going right off next to the water. Little posts. Yeah, I can see it. Here we go. I actually did something that I didn't intend to. That's one cool thing about painting is you'll always, or not always, but sometimes you'll have put stuff in there before and you didn't mean to put it there. But then you can work with it and make it look nice. So, like right now, I'm kind of doing something similar to that right now. Like a little tiny walkway right here. Yep, Never would have noticed that prior, but we're gonna have a tiny walkway right here. Here's the first step, second, third, fourth. I'm gonna have another one right here. Kind of have you trail off just a little bit. And we're gonna have them buried in the sand as well. It doesn't have to be super detailed either. Go away, fly. You don't pay rent. There we go. Eventually I will come back here with a palette knife and start really etching in and drawing distinct or more distinct lines, making it look a little bit nicer. There we go. So right here, I'm gonna kind of paint some nice white over here. Even going down to the water. Then I'm wipe my brush off, go back into solid white, do it again. And again. You can just do this over and over and over until you get the consistency that you want as well. Yeah, that looks nice. We're gonna have some shadows right here. Just tiny shadows. And you know what? I'm about to go into some blue. We're gonna make some stark shadows right here. And the way to do that, we're gonna go into phthalo blue and white. Just take it for a test run, and it's not dark enough. Wipe that off, go into straight phthalo blue. The cool thing about your colors is you can always make something real nice dark at the start, but you can't always make it, well, you can't make it darker later on. It's harder to make something darker later on. So right here, I'm gonna kind of add some shadows right under these steps ahead of time. Just kind of carving them out. And you can always paint over them. That's the cool thing. If you don't get the consistency and the color and the value that you want, you can always paint over them. Super easy. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of fade it out, just pull it back, just kind of like there's some, it's still there, but we're going down. Like there are different variants and variations. Okay, that ain't gonna fly. see y'all with the likes. Thank you so much. I found out that hearts are actually, this is from somebody I was watching stream for the past couple of weeks, but I found out that, oh, that's a lot of white. I found out that hearts, there's an algorithm for hearts, and that is actually what shows a video to be super popular. I didn't know that beforehand. So we're gonna just blend in those shadows just a little bit. And you know what? I'm going to start curving in this here. There. Just like there's a sand dune right there. And you can just paint over it with white if you don't like it. Super easy. Just like here. I'm just gonna blend it back until it almost disappears. Boom, super easy. It really is that simple. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start adding some plants around this area. Let's see here. I'm also gonna put, where'd my palette knife go? Here we go. Okay. I'm gonna start mixing up a color. I'm gonna take that purple color and mix it in with a little bit of yellow. Try to get that darker purple right here. Because we want it to be very faded, very, very faded. Especially towards the foreground. Well, not the foreground, the background. I don't know how this gnat got in this house, but I will take a fly swatter to him later. All right, so the next line of business, I'm gonna go into a little bit of that, not the purple color, here we go. That brownish color and then that white. I'm gonna kind of blend it in over here. And start kind of bringing it all and fading it in just a little bit right over here as well. Go away, fly. I'm gonna get you. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm just gonna go into blue. We're gonna have some shadows right here. There we go. We're gonna just add a little bit more white to that though. See what happens right here. There we go, that looks better. Have some shadows in the sand dune. Then we're gonna paint around the sand dune. I'm gonna have a nice walkway that goes out there. With this here. Go away. Telling you, bud, you're about to get it. You're gonna wish you didn't start flying in my face. had thought. So I'm gonna add some, even a little bit of blue over here, just gonna try to make it, oh, I went into the purple. That's okay. Going into some more white and blue. Try to keep it more towards the white side, because it's gonna be that kind of shaded, that shadow color, except a little bit more faded because it's far away. And we're gonna go in right under the walkway. I'm gonna start with that shadow color first, so that we can work on it later. Here we go. Nice little walkway, pier. You know what? I could even have a walkway going all the way out into the ocean. What do y'all think? If y'all put in the comments down below, I'll make this walkway even go out into the ocean just a little bit, right over here. So I'm gonna put it right here until y'all say otherwise. I'm just gonna leave it. If I get enough yeses, more than 2, that is exactly what I'm gonna do. So right here, and I'm gonna leave it. So shadow colors are nice and blue. Remember that. Whenever you're painting sand, your shadows are blue. And the closer you get, the darker they get. And if you get it too dark like that, you can just flip over your brush and just blend it in. Blend it in further. Super easy. And then the closer you get, it's okay to get it darker. There you go. Now you've got your shadow sand in the works. And then notice how I left a little blank space right in between the blues. So for there, I'm just gonna go in with white and brown. It's mostly white though. I'm gonna go in with white and brown and paint over it with a filbert brush. There we go. And what you can also do is you can also take some of that purple color. Ooh, where's my brush for it? There it is. We're gonna use this beat up brush. This is the fun brush. You go into that nice dark purple color. Oh, nope. I ran out of that color, so I'm gonna have to make some. That's all right. That's what we wanted to do. Then you can grab some yellow, because it's going to be a brown. And it's going to be a very, very, very dark brown. And if it's too much on the green side, just keep adding red and blue until you get that consistency that you want. Then go into some white to check and see what color you have. And if it's right, it's good to go. And we're about to go for a test run. Let's try it out. Just do little tiny pushes and pulls. Here we go. Boom. That looks just about right. So we're gonna hold on to that color. We're gonna put them aside, and we're gonna paint some sand on there just around the areas where we kind of want our sand to be located. So notice how I'm leaving intentional white spots, blank spots, open, where there's going to be sand. Well, it's more like not going to be sand. It's going to be where these real dark colors going to be as well. Just paint in layers. So I'm just leaving some little blank spots in between here and there. Oh, someone said something. Nope, that was not important. But the blank spots are to make the darkest darks really dark for your plants. And that's what I'm doing. Ooh. Right here, I'm gonna take that blue and I'm gonna add some shadows here and there. You can always go back and add shadows here and there wherever you see them. Where you see fit as well. You are not limited to where you can put shadows. You can just carve in different spots. You can do literally anything with canvases and paintings. Just pay attention to the light source, and light source is this way. So you want your shadows to be kind of coming down that way. Move this guy out of the way, just in case. Don't want to get that purple into the blue. So notice how I'm kind of pulling it down. All right, now it's time for some of that darker color. So what I'm going to do now, since it's a little bit farther away, I'm going to add and start tapping in some of this white to it too. I'm not going to completely erase it, but I'm going to start tapping it in. And you just go back and wipe off your brush just a little bit and get all that white out of there. All right, now bring out that little walkway I was telling y'all about earlier. You know what? I'm going to not do purple. I'm going to make it blue. We're just going to scratch it out, just because we can. We're even going to take that white color and we're going to start adding sand, little bits of sand to it. There we go. There. Give the little illusion that there's a walkway there. Go back into that purplish color. Maybe a little bit of blue as well, just to go under it. There. You can even mix it in a little bit just by pulling. There we go. You got that white and yellow and brown as your highlight. And we can always come in with the side of the knife or the tip of the knife, this kind of nice thin edge right here. And you can just kind of jab in the darker colors as the shadows. Hey Maria. For those of y'all that don't know, Maria is a very talented artist over in England. She does spiritual landscapes and they are freaking awesome. Super cool, super pretty. I've never seen anything like it. If y'all get the chance, go take a look at her work as well. Very, very talented artist. Okay. We're just gonna have this trail off just a little bit. There we go. Wipe off the brush and we're good to go for the next round. Alright, where's that dark color? Here we go. So now we're just going to start adding a couple plants here and there over towards the foreground. And I'm even going to start kind of layering that white in there as well. Kind of blending it together. Because a lot of these plants are kind of just gray. And they really color, or cover, I should say, sand dunes. It's 7:30. I've already been at this almost an hour. Well, time to speed through it just a little bit. We're just going to start adding a lot of different variations and shadows here now. So right here, I'm going to add a nice large amount of plants. have some shadows right here. And take this, kind of extend it outwards a little bit. There we go. And we'll just place it right over the top. There we go. Okay, so now I gotta stop fooling around and I gotta actually start adding some things that I didn't have there before. There we go. We're gonna add some steps to this little guy. Just gonna pull that out. There we go. You know what? I can actually just underpaint this with white. Kind of tone it out. There we go. Grab into that little brown and purple color, and you can even just pull that down to shape it. It's okay if you get a little bit of blue here and there, because this is covered in sand, and you want that. In beaches, your walkways are always going to be covered in sand. There we go. So I'm going to take this brown here. Go away, fly. I don't want to accidentally sling paint. And it's okay if your palette knife kind of trails off. You kind of want that. It looks real nice, and you've got some brown color on there. The further away it is, the more it's going to be appearing like it's drug in the sand. Just have it like that. There we go. Then we're gonna make some little posts right here after I scrub in some sand. Put you down. All right, here we go. Notice how these guys aren't all perfectly lined up. The more irregular it looks, honestly, artistically, it looks better. And people like that. That's what sells. You can even have them bent. As a matter of fact, that is what I'm about to do. I'm gonna have one that's kind of lopsided. He got hit by a bird. That bird was flying in the wrong direction. A rather large pelican landed on that sucker. See how I'm taking the same blue color that we were using earlier? I'm just painting the shadows in there. Just indications of shadow color. It's not perfect, but it's there. For steps. Just doing a small pull. And you know what we're going to do next? We're just going to start drawing in the lines for them. Kind of like little posts. Just small indications that there's one of those little ropes on there. I wish I could make my phone zoom in so I could see better what you're doing and try to copy it. Well, tell you what, I can do you a favor, and I can pull you closer to my canvas. That way you can see what I'm doing. Paint right along. Now I've got some brown mixed in here already, not too much of it left. I'm just taking my palette knife and just drawing in the little boards, and then kind of drawing in those little ropes as well. They don't have to be super visible either. It's okay if they have little breaks here and there too. It looks really, really good. Matter of fact, my last customer that I sold a beach painting to actually preferred it that way. I didn't tell him that I didn't spend a huge amount of time on that. That specific technique didn't take me too much time, but the painting itself took me a lot of time because I was still figuring out, different colors. I wanted to get it just right for him. Whenever I paint for people, as opposed to doing training videos like this, they turn out significantly better. Whenever you're doing something for someone else, it always turns out better than when it's done for yourself. Here we go, we're gonna do the same thing, kind of. Pull that in. Push real firmly on that line. And if that doesn't work, you can always take some white. Kind of give the illusion that there's a little rope there. Or you can even take some phthalo blue and do the same thing. Look at that. Super simple. Doesn't matter because it's going to be super thin. No one's going to be able to really tell what the color is. Just that it's there. Next line of business, we're going to go back to those same posts. We're going to add little tiny highlights. If it allows you to. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you'll have it on there super thin and it's like, nope, no thank you. And that's what's happening right now. So we can even do without them if we need to. So next line of business, I'm going to go back into some phthalo blue and some crimson, mostly towards the crimson side, and then some yellow, which makes a brown. Real nice dark brown. More towards the crimson side though. We go into some white. And we're going to hit this guy right here. So what I'm about to do now is I'm taking this little tiny corner of my palette knife, just the sharp edge. Oh, thanks so much. Just started out painting enjoyable, so with that tool you're making like a rope. Yes, I am. I was making a rope right here. That's a very, very simple way to make a rope. And then I'm also making little tiny little posts here in the background. The further away you get, the more they disappear. And it's okay. Even if they start fading away completely, you can just push it up, push it up. Because it's so far away, it's not going to matter too much. There we go. And then you can go into that same brown color, mix some white with it. Matter of fact, more white than that brown color. It's almost like a gray. And then you can just kind of there you go. Super easy way to kind of give the illusion of distance. Few plants here and there. I'm going to pull those plants over the sand dunes even. You're hoping to move down here soon. That'd be a fun time. It's great living here. The beaches are absolutely gorgeous. Storms are not so gorgeous, but they are also here. There we go. So just take that, kind of bring out that shadow color over here. All right, now I'm about to step back so I can see what it looks like. I haven't stepped back from this thing in a while. So this, to me, looks actually pretty decent. Not a bad hour and a half painting. I think I'm going to end on that one after I wash off all my brushes. So while I'm painting, do y'all have any, or while I'm just wiping off the brushes, If y'all have any questions for me while I'm still here. Whenever you're cleaning off your brush, make sure you get all that paint out, because if you leave any bit of paint in there, next day it'll be dried up and it'll be as hard as a rock, and it'll be a pain in the booty to fix it. So you always want to make sure you cleaned it out nice and thoroughly. So what would y'all like to see the next time I'm painting? Is there a how-to video that y'all want me to do? You want to see me do a series of different paintings or the same types of paintings? What do y'all want to see as the viewers? I can do multiple different things. I am by no means restricted by any rules whatsoever. However, I do prefer landscapes. I do paint people. I do paint animals. I prefer landscapes and seascapes. Gotcha. Nope, no I did not. Alright, brushes look nice and clean. Can I watch this beginning or watch this video from start to finish? Yes, you can. Once I finish this video and once I post it up on Facebook, you'll be able to watch it until I take it down. Once I take it down, I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel, which I'm starting up here in a couple weeks. I've been uploading all my Facebook videos, however, because I stream all the time, doesn't make it easier on myself. I put on a lot of my videos on YouTube. I've got a lot of how-tos on there. I go through most of my stuff. Most of the time it's just my streaming, and I'll be doing stuff like this the entire time. Or I'll be doing commissions for people if they don't have a problem with me streaming and showing the process for it. I've yet to come across a customer that says, no, I don't want you to stream it, don't want to show people how you do it, which is fine. Yeah, absolutely. Buffy says, thank you so much. We'll be looking forward to it. All right, for y'all that are interested in buying, I do sell these paintings, but you have to get a hold of me privately. I don't like to share the prices because not everybody can afford the same thing. If y'all like and y'all want to, and you send me customers my way, I will share a fat tip with y'all, and I mean cash. I will send y'all like a referral fee. And if y'all have a Venmo or a Cash App and you've got someone that wants to buy a painting off of me or off of my website, if I still have it on hand, or if they want to hire me for a commission and they actually end up buying a painting off of me, I'll give y'all a certain percentage of that painting or off of the cost as a way to say thank y'all. And in the meantime, everybody, shout out to everybody who's shared my videos. Super thankful for that. Every little bit of spreading the word helps. Thank you so much. And to y'all followers who just come in and just comment and just watch my videos and watch my streams and support, thank you so much again. And for the rest of y'all, if y'all are just brand new to the stream, I do stuff like this all the time. I try to do it every weekday. Wednesdays I try to cut out just because I watch my church stream and try to go to church and give myself a break. Weekends I try to give myself a break. Sometimes I'll do a Saturday. Just depends on what's going on. But Sundays are no-goes. But definitely going to be painting and streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays and Fridays. Tell your friends about this video, and I can't think of anything else I'd like to share with y'all. If y'all have any questions for me, leave it in the review section on my art page, and also share it with your friends, share it with your family. If you think there are people that would like to just sit there and watch, that's awesome too. I love helping, love talking to people, love entertaining as well. And in the meantime, that's all for tonight. I'm just going to give this sucker a signature, if I find my nail. Here we go. Sign it in red at the bottom right. And then we'll call this painting finished. I have a really goofy signature. Back in high school, my former high school art teacher, I almost said old, she doesn't like that. My former high school art teacher told us to develop a signature. And I just did J-Rod because my name's Jared. And it's just a lot easier remembering J-Rod as opposed to other signatures. It's like, I don't want to sign and make it real annoying to paint in the painting, so let's just make it short and sweet. So I just came up with J-Rod. And I like to paint it in with a nail. And then you get the little swift right at the end. And that's a simple way, super easy way to paint beaches. Nice soft beach. In the meantime, God bless y'all. Have a wonderful night. Leave any comments and what y'all want to see in the future in the review section. Love y'all. Night.